Hi, it's Mr. SV again, and today we are at the Tucson Police Department, and I'm going to flip my camera so you can see where we're at. And there we are. Today we're going to interview Officer Wine. Cougars, today I am sitting with Sergeant Aaron Wine, and we're going to do an interview with him today, and it should be a lot of fun. So, Sergeant Wine, can you tell us a little bit about your job?
My name's Sergeant Aaron Wine, and I'm a sergeant for the Tucson Police Department, and I work investigations for break-ins at people's homes and their vehicles, and any damage to their property. Um, we get a lot of investigations, about 1,000 a month, come into my unit, and I have 6 detectives that work for me, and they follow up on clues to solve those crimes using fingerprints and things like that to identify who the bad guy was, and then we go out and make an arrest.
Wow, that sounds very interesting, Sergeant Warren. What would you say is probably the coolest part about your job that you enjoy?
Well, my job's kind of like a puzzle, and I really like puzzles. So what we do is we take pieces and put the puzzle together to solve the crime, and I find that the most interesting part of my job.
That's really awesome. Have you ever had a case where it was very difficult to find the answer to your clues, but you were able to do it and you felt really good when you were done with it?
Yeah, sometimes we get cases where we don't have any information to go on, and we can do things like we had a case where we didn't know who the suspect was, but we could use a cell phone signal to find his cell phone and locate him that way, and we were able to solve the crime and solve a bunch of burglary cases.
That's great. That's great, Sergeant Wine. What kind of advice would you give students, maybe like our Carillo Cougars, if they want to become a police officer someday? What kind of advice would you give them, maybe about school, about their grades, about things like that?
Well, the first thing I tell you is if you want to be a police officer, you need to keep up on your schoolwork and especially your reading and your writing, because we write a lot of reports. And from there, the other thing is stay out of trouble, because if you get into trouble, then you can't get into law enforcement and be a police officer.
That's great advice, Sergeant Wine. What would you say were your favorite subjects when you were in school? When you were maybe elementary age?
I really liked reading. Reading and writing were my favorite things to do when I was in school.
Okay. And did you play any sports, by the way, while you were in school? Were
I
there some
did.
sports that you enjoyed?
I played lots of sports when I was in school. My favorite sports to play were football and wrestling is my favorite.
Oh, and that's actually Mr. SV's favorite sport as well. How about your favorite book when you were a kid? What was one of your favorite books that you remember the most?
When I was a little kid, I really liked The Little Engine That Could. That was my favorite book.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, Sergeant Wine. And we are going to move on to our next section, which is going to be where Sergeant Wine shows us all his police equipment. So that's going to talk about some of the equipment that police officers use when they're out in the field.
I sure can. Well, the first most important thing is our uniform, because that helps the public identify us as helpers, and they know that they can come to us for assistance, and it helps identify us as police and sets us apart from everybody else. A couple of important things that we have. One of the very most important things is our body armor. This is what protects us from anybody that wants to try to hurt us. It stops bullets, and it can stop some types of knives and things like that if they try to attack us. Also, I have my handcuffs that I keep in a pouch here on the front of my belt. That's for putting people, or detaining people and putting them in jail. I carry a service pistol as well. And on my belt, I also have extra magazines for my bullets. And I carry a can of pepper spray as well, as another tool on my belt.
Okay. And then are there certain tools that you use or certain weapons that you use most often, or are there some that you hardly ever use?
Well, we try hardly ever to use our handguns if we have to. The most frequently used tool is our handcuffs. We use those every time that we arrest somebody. And again, they just click around the bad guy's wrists, and we put them behind their back, and we take them to jail.
Okay. And walking around with all that equipment, does it make it really heavy for you when you're walking around?
It does. By the time I wear all of my equipment, it adds about 40 pounds. It gets very heavy.
Wow, that seems like a lot of weight to carry. Well, thank you, Sergeant Wine. We appreciate you showing. Tucson Police Bomb Squad. And Sergeant Wine, can you introduce some of your people that you work with on the Bomb Squad?
I sure can. This here is Officer Jensen, the Tucson Police Bomb Squad. Hi. And this is Officer Williams, the Tucson Police Bomb Squad. Hi.
And they are so excited to show us some of the cool things that the Bomb Squad does. So we're going to go ahead and head on over. So Cougars, I hope you're ready for this. Now, we talk about studying and being ready. Those of you that love math and love science, this is going to be. Can you tell us about some of the equipment that you use while you work?
Absolutely. So this is our EOD-9 bomb suit. It's made by MedEng, and this is our primary suit we use when we go down range on suspicious devices. So this will protect us. As you can see, it's full coverage bomb suit. It weighs about 88 pounds. The helmet by itself weighs 12. It has no internal cooling system. We do have fans inside the helmet that'll keep the visor from fogging up, but it doesn't cool it. So you can imagine on a hot day like today, it gets pretty hot.
So it must be very hot in there. How much does this suit weigh? How many pounds does it weigh?
88 pounds.
88 pounds. That, I think, Officer Jensen, I think that is a lot heavier than a lot of our students at Carrillo. I just wanted to let you know that. So that is a heavy, heavy suit.
It's very heavy. We try to maintain pretty good physical shape. As you can imagine, it's pretty demanding working in the heat and different environments in this suit, so we try to stay in shape for that reason.
So you got to stay.
So Cougars, it's important, stay in shape. You can see that here with some of the features. It does have a control module on the arm here, and with this we control the fans in here.
Okay.
And it also has lights here. We control the light features.
Oh, that is really cool.
It has a heavy plate here to protect us from impact or fragmentation should we have a device that functions while we're downrange. Hopefully that never happens. The tan part of the suit that you guys see is like a firefighter's coat, so that protects us from flame. It's flame resistant. And then we have Kevlar reinforcements here, here, and here.
That is a pretty amazing suit. So thank you so much for showing that to us. And so, you know, anytime there is any kind of explosion or any kind of call that you guys got to go out to, this is what you guys wear. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Cougars. That means you got to be physically in shape to put this suit on. All right. Thank you.
Remotech Andros F6A bomb disposal robot. It's a high-tech piece of life-saving gear that we use on a regular basis. And you can see it's got a bomb in its gripper right now. It's not a real bomb, don't worry.
So this is not real, but this is what the robot tries to go after and finds bombs anywhere that they get a call when they have to go out into the neighborhoods or around Tucson.
This is a complex piece of machinery with multiple motors and articulators. It'll do stairs, rough terrain. The robot itself is mostly aluminum, and it's about a 500-pound robot.
500 pounds, that's very heavy.
It's a remote control robot. It's not autonomous. Bomb Tech is always the one operating it. And it's a great piece of machinery that we use on a daily basis. If we can't use it, that's when we resort to using the bomb suit. But this is our go-to piece of machinery to get our job done.
And are we going to be able to see this in action in a little bit?
Absolutely.
That's great. Thank you. And here we have our bomb robot moving.
Bomb suit. Yes, it's Mr. SV. We had a great day today. I hope you learned a lot. And we want to thank the Tucson Police Department today. And remember, keep studying, keep your grades up, keep being A+ Cougars. We'll see you guys next time, Cougars.